Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Concern Podcast, where we unpack political, social, economic, and cultural stories shaping our world. I am Emmanuel Taban. Now, the U.S. Israeli and Iranian war is heading towards a week since it started. And this war has destabilized the global economy in some way. It has destabilized the supply chain, and so many people who were relying on the exportation or importation of oil have been affected, and prices are hiking, prices are going high in just a very short time. And this is worrying so many people. Others are saying this could be a start of another global economic crisis, or even could lead to a third world war. But according to me, I feel that this war is not even going to take long, and also that the United States of America is going to end up in a very, very um, uh, in a way where they'll be humiliated in this war. And I'll try to explain to you why. You know, according to me, I feel the United States of America is not winning this war, and that there's no any reason why this war should have happened. No any basis, and I'll explain to you. You know, um, the United States of America and Israel, they thought that this war would be just a 2 or 3 days thing, and it will end. You know, they underestimated the Iranian uh, military weight, and they thought if they just launched the strike on Iran, just like what they did the other year, maybe things would just calm down and that would be the end. And they would have actually distracted Iranians' nuclear infrastructures, which they feel that it's posing the threat to the United States and Israeli security, but also their interest. So, according to the US and the Israeli governments, they thought this was a 2 day or 3 day thing. But now I think they're trying to change their mind, extending the time, saying it's going to take 4 weeks. And this clearly tells us how hard they have actually tried to discover that is Iran. It's a very hard country, or a hard nut to crack. And one thing you should know is that um, there are people who subscribe to the school of thought that you know, the United States of America actually had no interest of attacking Iran, but they are being drawn into this war by Israel. You know, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, has been saying this since, I don't know, the 1990 something, about Iran posing a threat to their security and the security of the United States of America. Netanyahu has been running across the world telling this in a year time, or this time Iran will strike the war. I mean, he has been saying this over and over again. But this has never happened. And so many people also feel that the Israeli prime minister has been using Iran as a way of staying in power, because every time he attacked Iran and he tried to cause some kind of a conflict or crisis in Israel, I mean, it extends his time of staying in power, because of course they're not going to have an election held during a time when there's crisis. So many people have the belief that Benjamin Netanyahu has been using this as a mechanism of staying in power. He has been surviving on creating war on Iran. And I feel there is no any world leader right now who is so much involved in war transaction than the Israeli prime minister. And so many people feel that this war was not needed at all, that the United States was just dragged into this war through Israel. But in real sense, this war is not supposed to happen. And second of all, the other thing that makes this war unpopular is because the Iranian government and the United States of America and Israel had already gone into a negotiation. There was already a negotiation that was going on. And therefore, just from nowhere, Israel and the United States of America started attacking Iran in the middle of a negotiation. So I think this has betrayed the Iranian feels like they have been betrayed, because you have struck a deal that you're going to get involved in a negotiation on how you can actually try to convince the Iranians not to go ahead in manufacturing of these nuclear weapons that you claim they are involved in doing. And then in the middle of nowhere, you go ahead and hit the country. I mean, to so many people, this feels like this is something that is a betrayal to the Iranian people, and therefore this war becomes unpopular on this basis, that the war was done in the middle of a negotiation. The negotiation would have offered alternatives, but the Israeli and the Americans say no, they did that by themselves. There are also people who feel that the Trump government is becoming unpopular at home, and that Trump wanted to exploit this opportunity of attacking Iran so he could actually become so popular at home, because he feels that the Americans who feel the same feeling that Trump has, that Iran is posing a threat to the security and interests of the United States, especially in the Middle East. And therefore, if Trump goes ahead and struck Iran and destroy their military infrastructures, their nuclear infrastructures, that will make Americans at home so happy that the enemy of America, the enemy of Israel, which is actually representing United States interests in the Middle East, has finally been defeated. And therefore, Trump would have gained popularity at home. This is one of the things that so many people believe it was the intention. But the war appears to have backfired. And therefore, with this scenario happening right now, that the Israeli and the Americans have even went further to kill the leader, the supreme leader of Iran, it has even made the Iranians so angry. It has made them so angry, and this has been witnessed when the Iranian regime started attacking most of these countries in the Gulf region, where countries like Bahrain, like Oman, like Saudi Arabia, and all this, simply because these countries have let the United States use their airspace and their military bases to attack Iran, and therefore Iran is attacking them on that basis. They're actually not attacking these people, their government, but they are attacking them mainly because they have let the United States of America use their airspace and their military bases in those countries to attack Iran. And therefore, Iran is trying to retaliate by attacking US bases in these countries. And there are also people who believe that, most of these countries, like when you talk about Saudi Arabia, like Oman, like Bahrain, and all this, most of these countries are, are so much attached to Iran in terms of religion. I mean, we can all agree that majority of them have they're Islamic states. And there's always this kind of unity with these Islamic states. If it's not with the government, but at least the people in all these different countries, they have a very strong attachment. And so many people believe that most of these countries that have let the United States use their airspace and use their bases to attack Iran, they've actually betrayed Iran. And the common people, the citizens of this country, they have the same feeling. So if the United States of America, I feel that the United States of America is not going to sustain this war because, one, this war has led to the killing of Americans. I mean, we have seen the other day American soldiers killed and their bodies transferred back home. And people are saying we don't want our kids to be taken to Iran and brought back when they are dead. Americans are starting calling out the government of Donald Trump to stop this war. But even this is not the reason why I feel that the US will give up on this war. Because when we look at most of these the Gulf states, like the United States, the United Arab Emirates, like Oman, like all these countries, that Jordan and all these, when we look at these countries, their current governments appears to be pro-United States of America. They are so much aligned to the US more than they are aligned to Iran. And therefore, I have a feeling that because of these kind of attacks that Iran is posing on these countries, there's going to emerge an uprising in these countries if they don't stop the United States to use their airspace and their bases to attack Iran. Iran is going to continue striking this country to an extent where the citizens of these countries are going to get dissatisfied with their government, and I am foreseeing a situation whereby there will be an uprising in these countries, and they will call for regime change in this country. And that is one of the things that the United States of America will never want to happen. Because If it happens that these countries started rising up against their government in the United Arab Emirates, in in United Arab Emirates, in Bahrain and all other countries, if they start raising up against their government, and that this uprising will bring up some extremists to take over governments which are anti-United States of America, anti-Israel, this will be worse than ending the war. It will be worse because they would have created more enemies within a very short time. Take an example that in all these countries, if there is an uprising in most of these Gulf countries, and that there emerge some extremists in those countries and they take over these governments, and they become anti-United States. So United States will have so many enemies. They will have to deal with Iran. They will have to deal with all these newly extremist government that have been installed in these countries, which the United States, I think, don't want that to happen at all. And the United States of America will be forced to end this war. They will be forced to end this war because Americans at home will very soon start calling for an end to this war, because also citizens of those countries in the Gulf state will be calling for an end to this war. They will put pressure on their governments, and their governments will put pressure on the United States of America to stop attacking Iran on their bases, and therefore the United States will be left with no option but have to end this. And this is just what I'm looking at. And also, you know, one of the reasons why the United States and all other European countries have been condemning Russia and China on their invasion of Ukraine and Taiwan is because they feel that that was an aggression and it was not needed. So tell me, why, or on what moral basis would the United States of America, on what moral basis would Israel have to actually lecture Russia and China on invasion? United States had just gone ahead and they abducted the leader of Venezuela and taken to the United States in prison. That is an aggression. The United States has gone ahead and attacked Iran and killed their leader. That is an aggression. So tell me why you think that Russia will not want to go and attack Ukraine. Tell me why you feel China should just sit down and not go and invade Taiwan when the United States is doing the same thing that they condemn Russia for doing. Why? Because the reason why Russia gave for invading Ukraine is because they are trying to prevent Ukraine from being made a member of the NATO state, which Russia feel that will actually be a threat to its security, and they are invading Ukraine so that it will prevent the threats. And that's exactly what America is doing right now. So therefore, there is no any moral base on America to actually attack Russia on this basis of attacking Ukraine. Russia will go. In fact, I have a feeling that the Russians and the Chinese are now smiling because they know that the United States of America has actually given them the leeway. They've given them the reason why they should go ahead with these aggressions in Ukraine and in Taiwan. So these are some of the situations that I feel that the United States is putting itself in. One, the United States of America was not even in need of this war. They are just dragged in by Israel. That is one. And second of all, the government of Trump was trying to actually create a situation where they need to be popular at home, because so many people can easily see that the government of Trump is getting unpopular at home. So therefore, he wanted to exploit the situation of Iran so that to gain popularity back home. But it appears to be backfiring. The entire situation is backfiring. We are also going to see a situation whereby citizens of these countries in the Gulf, where the United States is using them to attack Iran, they're going to put up pressure on their governments. They're going to start calling the United States to put down their arms and stop attacking Iran on their land. And this is going to force the United States of America to actually just calm down and stop this war, because if they don't, citizens of this country will actually rise up and they will call an end to their government, and there will emerge extremists in these countries of which the United States of America will never want to deal with. So these are some of the reasons why I feel that the United States of America and Israel are already losing this war, and they will be forced to end this war if they like it or yes. They will be forced. And this war is not even going to take very long. It's not going to take very long at all. If it continues, we will see an emergency of extremists in Middle East. We will see an emergency of some kind of protest in the United States of America against the Trump regime. This will happen. So this is my take on the conflict that is right now happening between the United States of America, Israel, and Iran. Thank you so much. Write down in the comment section what you think about that. Until next time, I'm Emmanuel Taban, and this is the Concern Podcast. Before we close today's episode, here's a quick message from our sponsor, Wanit.co. If you've been planning to build a website, but the cost has been holding you back, Wanit.co makes it affordable and stress-free this time around. Whether you are an individual, a non-profit organization, or a business, Wanit.co designs professional websites starting from as cheap as $250. Individuals can actually launch with a starter website of up to 7 pages and a free email, or choose an advanced option with unlimited pages, a professional portfolio, and branding support. For non-profit organizations, they can select flexible packages from basic websites to premium solutions with e-commerce features and ongoing support. And for business companies, Wanit.co delivers company-ready website with hosting, staff training, and multilingual options and online stores. And the best part of it is actually that you can build your dream website within your budget. Wanit.co is an affordable, accessible, and professional partner. And to get started, you can actually visit Wanit.co or email them at info@wanit.co, or you can get in touch with them through their WhatsApp number at +12265043322. Wanit.co, proudly affiliated with Jobs to Apply. And if you're wondering of what I'm talking about, here are some samples of website created by Wanit.co. You can see them right here.